Hey Capricorns, welcome to your weekly forecast for August 24th through the 30th. We're going to see what's going on for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the week ahead. Now guys, I just want to remind you that if you fall upon this video outside of the time that I'm setting the intention for, it still applies. Spirit brought you here for a reason. There's some message in here and you will fall upon the video when you are meant to. So we're going to go ahead and see what's coming up for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Messages, please, for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we're going to jump right on in here, Cappies. The first card we have here is self-confidence. Look at you, confident Capricorn. You are coming into your self-confidence, my darlings. So I feel like for you guys also, because there's the crown in this card has always kind of jumped out at me. So I feel like there's something happening here where there is like a crown clearing or crown, like a shifting in your crown chakra, where things are just kind of loosening up and the debris, so to speak, is being cleared out of the way. And so there's an unblocking or an unclogging of the crown chakra. And so the way that you're viewing yourself or the way that you're viewing situations that have been like negatively impacting how you feel about yourself or your circumstances are changing. And so I feel like there's also like a crown chakra clearing happening here as well. Now, one thing that's really jumping out at me that I've never really noticed about the card before, and I have used this deck before on the channel for our little mermaid month or mermaid summer theme. I've used it, but what's really jumping out at me here is this little star that is right beneath her little tushy right there. And so this, whatever reason, the feeling that I'm getting intuitively and what that's saying to me is I feel like a lot of you are getting this confidence based on what you're seated upon in terms of the past. Like you're kind of looking at the past, and instead of looking back with embarrassment or regret, you're looking back confidently, feeling like how much you've learned, how much you've grown, how much you've changed, how much you've developed, and you're feeling wiser and stronger, and you're feeling good about yourself, as opposed to looking back in like negative self-judgment. So usually when there's this kind of clearing or release where we're clearing ourselves from judgment of self and we're clearing the crown chakra and we're thinking more positively, a lot of you may really be feeling Archangel Jophiel around you, because she's the archangel that helps with this kind of stuff, with this area, right? This is one of her areas. And so you might also be drawn to like fuchsia, like the color fuchsia, or like really, really deep, really vibrant pinks, because this is the color she's associated with. She's also associated with the energy of like roses, Mother Mary energy. So maybe some of you are even, I feel like some of you maybe have recently, like I feel like somebody just like flipped out a little bit. Like I feel like somebody recently like saw a Mary like statue or figurine and like brought it home, even if it's not like something typically that you would have. Like you were kind of drawn to it and you were like, oh my gosh, like, you know, that must be why I wanted to have that. So I feel like for somebody that might be a significant message, but know and understand that you are being guided right now through this change and through this shift, and opening up to this new energy, to seeing yourself in a more positive, confident light here, and releasing yourself of self-judgments. Your next card here, Capricorns, is withdrawn. Okay. Now I'm getting a very interesting vibe from this card for you guys. I know it's kind of like a sad or depressing looking card, and some of you may be releasing sadness from the past or releasing old experiences. But the interesting feeling that I'm getting from this card for you guys is I feel like maybe you started out lonely, like in the past few weeks, or maybe you're starting out this week feeling a little bit lonely, but I feel like the loneliness is shifting from loneliness to like needing space, needing time just to kind of clear, to get things out of your system. I feel that it's shifting from feeling lonely and wishing there were people around to feeling like, man, I just need a little bit of time. I just need a little bit more time before I'm ready to like get out there and try to like let people in, or to be connecting with people. I feel like some of you are also, for whatever reason, this is very interesting, but I feel in this time of like kind of stepping away from people and clearing and healing, I feel like some of you are setting up for the first time in your space like a place for your spirituality, like a place for prayer, a place for release, a place for healing, where you might even be setting up like a spiritual practice, like coming up with your own spiritual practice, or coming up with your own little spiritual routine, or a very specific way that you're choosing to pray or meditate. You're making it your own. Okay. This is one of the things that happens is when we begin to go in our spiritual path, we will, learn from other people, meditations, affirmations, chants, ways of meditating, and then we recite what we've been shown. And so some of you maybe have kind of been doing something like that off and on, but I feel what's changing and shifting here is you're coming up with your own. You're coming up with your own. You're making it your own. If you already have a spiritual space, I feel like you're redoing it entirely. Like you're redoing it completely. And some of you might even be, I don't know if I want to say going against the rules, because I know certain modalities and certain belief systems are very specific. Like, oh, well, if you have an altar or if you have a spiritual space, like this has to be placed this way, this has to be placed that way. Like there's really specific rules, like it needs to be faced this direction. I feel like for some of you, all that stuff is kind of going out the window, so to speak, and you're just doing what resonates with you, what feels powerful for you, and you're tweaking your spiritual practice or your prayers or meditations, and making them unique to you, which is very powerful. Your next card here, Capricorns, is communication. And this is giving me confirmation. Did you guys notice the color of her tail here? What was I just saying in the beginning about the fuchsias and the deep pinks, right? So this clearing, this beauty, this positivity, this new fresh start coming in with Archangel Jophiel. That color is, to me, kind of confirming that energy, the Jophiel energy that I was feeling. Now, communication, okay, communication, I feel like what this is telling, because it's bringing me back to Jophiel, I feel like this healing and this confidence that you're getting is giving you the confidence to speak up and express your feelings. Capricorn, I feel some of you are being seen in this way where you have this really hard exterior shell. Like maybe the people in your life see you as somebody like, oh, don't mess with Capricorn. Or maybe people in your life see you as, very serious, or like this really tough person. But I feel as you're in this confidence and as you're releasing judgment of self, it's giving you the confidence to speak up about what you need, like to kind of embrace your vulnerability, so to speak. Whereas maybe in the past you haven't done this because you were concerned that either you would be rejected, or you were concerned that people would judge you or see you as weak, and that didn't feel safe for you. But because you're in this confidence, because you're in this crown chakra clearing, you have the courage now to speak up in your honesty about what you want, what you need, or ways in which people maybe hurt your feelings or upset you or offended you in some way. And so I feel this communication is directly tied to your ownership of your feelings, which is really exciting, because once you cross that threshold and you own your feelings and you speak up for your feelings, this is when you make the shift that you begin to attract people in your life who are going to be supportive. Okay, not only in love and romance, but friendships, work situations, partnerships. You shift the energy to where the people that will be in your life will be individuals who care what you feel, who take your feelings into consideration, and who are supportive and encouraging. So that's a very powerful shift that's coming in for a lot of you Capricorns. Your next card here, my darlings, is generosity. Okay, generosity, generosity, generosity. So some of you might be on the giving end, some of you might be on the receiving end of this generosity. But what I'm feeling for the majority of you is I feel like some of you Capricorns have been kind of going through life fairly recently where you're looking back at your past and you're feeling as though you were taken advantage of or you were disrespected, and people kind of, you know, pulled one over on you, and they got a lot from you. And so some of you maybe subconsciously have been going through life feeling like you have to make up for that. Like you lost a lot, so you have to gain back what you lost by not giving or being very cautious what you're giving. And so you may have had this closed off energy because you got burned, right? Like in the past, you tried to be generous, you tried to be giving, and someone took advantage or someone swindled you in some way. And so now it was like extra, extra careful. I feel like that's getting healed. That's getting released. You no longer have the fear of being taken advantage of because you're realizing that you have the wisdom to see the red flags if it's someone who's looking to take advantage or someone who doesn't have good intentions. And so now you're able to judge character better, and you're able to be generous. You're able to be generous when it's appropriate to be generous, when it's an appropriate situation where you're not dealing with someone that has, you know, negative intentions or someone who's being deceitful. And so I feel this is directly linked to your healing. And also here, the hands are kind of shaped like a heart. See, like a kind of like a heart thing. So as you're opening up in this flow and this energy, it in the long run is boosting your receiving of abundance as well. That's just what I feel looking at that. So we're going to check out your affirmation for the week, my darlings. And as always, I encourage you guys to watch your moon sign and rising sign videos because some weeks those may resonate with you more than others. They might add a little extra information that might be helpful. You may want to also put the affirmations for your moon sign and rising sign together with your sun affirmation and make just one big affirmation for yourself for the week. That could be helpful for some of you. And as always, my darlings, if you would like a private reading, you can schedule with me through the Calendly link in the description. So your affirmation for the week, Capricorns, is my eyes will see what I desire. My eyes will see what I desire. I almost don't want to tell you guys my breakdown of this card because I know I usually explain it, but I'll tell you why. When you do an affirmation, and especially when it's an affirmation somebody else has given you, you might not understand the wordings or you think you understand it, but when you repeat it enough times and you start to kind of plant the seed in your head, there's this really cool moment where like you awaken to it and you're like, oh my gosh, it makes sense now. Now I get it. Now I get it. Now I understand what this means. And so I like want you guys to have that experience. I want you to have the epiphany. And so don't get mad at me, Capricorn. I'm not going to break this down for you guys because I want you guys to have the epiphany and you know, and have the realization of like what that means. So maybe say it out loud every morning, the first thing when you wake up, and say it out loud every night, the last thing before you go to sleep. You can maybe even make it a mantra in between during the day. But I just want you guys to take this and process it and digest it. I'm going to leave it at that, my darlings. I know I usually give you a breakdown, but I'm not going to do it this time. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for love and romance readings, you can definitely check those out. They're linked in the description of the video. The love videos for September are up. You can check those out, get a little bit of a head start. Check out your channeled angel messages if you haven't already. And of course, my darlings, every single day on Instagram and Facebook, I post a daily message in the morning and then a pick a card in the afternoon. And every month I give away a free reading to someone on my social media, and I give away a prize to someone on my social media. So there's two giveaways. Check out the ones for September. They're on my social media pages. And I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And I'm wishing you all a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care.